"I live very modestly in comparison to the amounts of money I made for these institutions," she told the judge.
The pitfalls, the snares, the traps, and they don't stop. They keep coming. You know, they don't stop.
Here is the Lauryn Hill story they don't want you talking about. From breaking records with the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill to breaking down under pressure, Lauryn Hill's story isn't just about fame. It's about the painful cost of genius.
I'm not in the studio right now, and everybody in my world thinks I'm crazy. What's going on? You need another album out. The time is running out. You have a certain window to make music. For a little while, I listened to that.
Despite her massive success, Lauryn faced betrayal from within the industry. A $5 million lawsuit from her own production team, a prison sentence for tax evasion, and public concern over her mental health painted a different picture from the one fans saw.
You know what I mean?
I want to know more.
Oh, Lord. So you got a big hand off of music that you didn't even write. You feel me, though? You got a big...
Robert, you know she gonna hear this.
100%.
She cried out for peace on stage. She challenged abuse from the Vatican's altar. And somewhere in all of this, she disappeared.
Environment.
Lauryn Hill was one of the biggest music stars in the late 1990s. Her album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, was a huge hit.
It's funny how money changes situation. Miscommunication lead to complication.
It won many awards and sold millions of copies. People loved her music and her voice.
And the album of the year is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Father, so much. This is crazy because this is hip-hop music, and you know what I mean? It's like...
But behind the scenes, things were not going so well. Lauryn was dealing with serious problems that many people did not know about. One of the biggest problems came from the people who helped her make the album. These people were called the New Arc producers.
Especially when you've already stolen all of my friends' music. Miseducation was made by great musicians and producers that I know. Personally.
They worked closely with Lauryn in the studio. They helped create the sound and the songs. But when the album came out, Lauryn was listed as the only writer and producer. The New Arc producers were upset. They said they worked hard on the album, but Lauryn took all the credit. At first, Lauryn paid them $100,000, but the album made millions.
So you got a big hand off of music that you didn't even write. You feel me, though? You got a big...
Robert, you know she gonna hear this.
100%.
The producers felt they deserved more money. They felt they had been cheated. The New Arc producers decided to sue Lauryn. They filed a 50-page lawsuit. They said Lauryn took all of the fame and money while ignoring the people who helped her. This was not just a business fight. It was personal. Lauryn had built friendships with these people. She had worked closely with them and cared about them. It hurt her deeply to be taken to court by her friends. It also hurt her reputation. Some people started calling her a music thief. That was painful because Lauryn had real talent. She had vision. She wrote powerful songs and brought something new to music. But this lawsuit made people question her. While the lawsuit was happening, Lauryn was under pressure to go on a world tour. This tour, promoting her album, was very successful. People came from all over to see her perform. She sang her heart out every night, but inside, she was tired and overwhelmed. She described her schedule as non-stop. She would go from the studio to the hotel, then to the stage, then back to the hotel, over and over again. She felt like she was running on empty. She said she felt like a sponge that had been wrung out. There was nothing left inside her. After the tour, Lauryn kept working. She wrote a song called All That I Can Say for Mary J. Blige.
All that I can say.
That song became a hit. She also worked with artists like CeeLo Green, Carlos Santana, and even the late Bob Marley. She helped remix Bob Marley's song, Turn Your Lights Down Low.
Wow.
I want to give you some love.
Lauryn's talent was still there. She could still make beautiful music, but something was changing inside her. She was no longer as excited about making music as before. One missed opportunity was with Mariah Carey. Lauryn and Mariah were supposed to work on a song together called Crystal Ball. But there were problems between their music teams. Mariah said that Lauryn's label did not work with her on time. Because of the delay, Mariah skipped the recording session. Lauryn didn't know about this and was upset. Mariah later tried to set up another session, but Lauryn wasn't interested anymore. Mariah said in a press conference that the media and timing got in the way of their work. She still believed the song could have been great, but sadly, it never got finished. By the end of 1999, Lauryn started to disappear from the public. She stopped making music and said no to acting roles in big movies like Charlie's Angels. The Matrix.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
And The Bourne Identity. People wondered where she had gone. They asked, "Where is Lauryn Hill? Why isn't she making music?" But Lauryn needed a break. She wanted to live a normal life again. She enjoyed being with her kids, going to the store, and doing simple things. She wanted peace. However, the music business didn't want her to rest. Her record label wanted her back in the studio. They told her time was running out. They said she needed to strike while she was still popular.
But then I remember doing one show and having girls running and screaming, and I was going, you know, who else is here? Who's here? Until I realized that they were screaming for us. You never really adapted being a mega superstar. Like, I was just Lauryn Hill, you know what I'm saying?
For a short time, Lauryn listened. She went back into the studio. She tried to make new songs, but she wasn't happy with them. She said they didn't have heart. The songs had no meaning because she had not lived enough to write about anything real. She realized that she couldn't make good music if she didn't have real experiences. She needed time to live, not just to work. Lauryn didn't want to make music just to make money. She believed that music should be honest. She didn't want to fool her fans by giving them music that didn't move her. She said if the music didn't touch her soul, then it wasn't good enough to share. Lauryn had strong values about her art. She didn't want to cheat the people who believed in her. That's why she stopped rushing to make more albums.
I was like in the studio working real hard, trying to get it done. And you know, music was created, but it wasn't my best. And it wasn't my best because there was no substance.
In 2001, the lawsuit with the Newark producers came to an end. Lauryn and her label had to pay them $5 million. One of the producers, Veda Nobles, said that Lauryn gave up fighting in court. He said she didn't want to continue. After the case ended, he went to her house to make peace. But after that day, he never saw or heard from her again. That shows how deeply hurt Lauryn was. Something in her had changed.
I live very modestly in comparison to the amounts of money I made for these institutions, she told the judge.
Her former manager, Jason Jackson, said he saw a shift in Lauryn. She became very serious about her faith.
I'd gone through a lot, you know, a huge emotional and spiritual battle.
She started following a man named Brother Anthony. He was a spiritual teacher, but some people believed he was part of a cult. They said his teachings were strange and made Lauryn act differently. Jason said she began pulling away from people she used to be close with. Lauryn had a reason for doing this. She said she needed to be alone. She had to face her fears and fight dark thoughts. Lauryn admitted she doubted herself. She was afraid that she could never make another great album like The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
It's funny how money changes situation. Miscommunication lead to complication.
She thought people only liked her because of the Newark producers. She heard voices in her head telling her she couldn't do it on her own. But Lauryn decided to push those thoughts away. She wanted to prove she could still make music from her heart. Being a strong black woman in the music industry is not easy. Lauryn spoke truth in her songs. She talked about real issues. She talked about pain, hope, and faith. She made people think. But speaking the truth often brings problems. Lauryn said that whenever you try to do good and speak truth, you will face resistance. Some powerful people do not want you to shine. They try to break you. Lauryn said to be used by God, you sometimes have to go through pain. You might be judged, mocked, or even forgotten. But all of that is part of the journey.
And the pitfalls, the snares, the traps, and they don't stop. They keep coming. They don't stop.
Some people believed Brother Anthony made things worse for Lauryn. Praz, a member of the Fugees, said Brother Anthony was teaching weird things. He said he listened to tapes of his teachings, and they scared him. He said it sounded like a cult. Maybe Brother Anthony had a hold on Lauryn's mind. Maybe he influenced her to stay away from music. Or maybe Lauryn just needed to find herself again. Lauryn had other reasons for staying away. She wanted freedom. She wanted to make music her own way, without pressure from record labels. In 2001, Lauryn did perform a new song called Adam Lives in Theory.
Adam lives in theory, trying to turn stone into bread.
But when fans saw her, they were surprised. She had changed her look. She cut off all her hair and wore loose, baggy clothes. She looked different from the star they remembered. It was clear she was going through something. Interestingly, around the same time Lauryn stepped back, a new star was rising. A 16-year-old singer named Beyonce was starting her career with the group Destiny's Child. Their first big song, No No No, was a hit. It was produced by Wyclef Jean, the same person who had helped Lauryn in the Fugees. As Lauryn was pulling back, Beyonce was stepping forward. One star was fading while another was rising. That's how life works sometimes. Her initial taste of success came through acting. In 1991, Hill made her debut alongside Jean in a hip-hop adaptation of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, titled Club 2. Recognizing her promise, a talent agent discovered Hill and secured her a part on the soap opera As the World Turns. Subsequently, she graced the screen in Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, a performance highly praised by film critic Roger Ebert, though he lamented that her remarkable talent was underutilized. Hill's acting journey also led her to Steven Soderbergh's King of the Hill. Gradually, the weight of celebrity began to bear down on Hill. Her days were consumed by a whirlwind of tours, film projects, and music production. The precious moments she could spare for ordinary pursuits like shopping were tainted by the constant presence of paparazzi. In response, she parted ways with her managers, retreated from public view, and delved into a new routine of Bible study sessions, attending classes 5 days a week, led by a figure known as Brother Anthony. I had a tape of his teachings. That f***ed me up. I can't really explain it. It was some weird shit, man. It was some real cult. Praz would tell Rolling Stone in 2003. In contrast, the other luminary Beyonce, alongside her groupmates, contributed the empowering anthem Independent Women, Part 1, to the film's soundtrack. As events played out, one star seemingly faded from the media spotlight, while the other dazzled across various publications, gracing everything from Sports Illustrated and Vogue to GQ and even the feminist magazine.
Shoes on my feet, I bought the clothes I'm wearing, I bought the
Miss One Luminary exhibited a gift for lyrics, seamlessly blending rap and melody to explore topics like politics, love, religion, and challenging the influence of corporate media. In contrast, the other gravitated towards more surface-level pursuits, centering her attention on nightlife revelry, projecting an image of glamour, and celebrating her financial independence as she navigated heartaches and fleeting romances.
I just might be a black Bill Gates in a making it. I want it.
Subsequently, it came to light that the song featured in Charlie's Angels had been passed on to Beyonce after she declined the film role. However, Beyonce's standing in the music industry hasn't been without its controversies. She's been associated with a willingness to trade artistic integrity for opportunities and recognition. Historically, Beyonce has been observed to readily accept offers purely for the allure of monetary gain and celebrity status. This pattern seems to have persisted in her decision to take on this particular song. At the time, Lauryn could not have anticipated that this seemingly small act would have such far-reaching consequences for the trajectory of her own career. In an interview, she said, "People need to understand that the Lauryn Hill they were exposed to in the beginning was all that was allowed in that arena at the time. I had to step away for the sake of the machine. I was being way too compromised. I felt uncomfortable having to smile in someone's face when I really didn't like them or know them well enough to like." Moreover, when Beyonce was busy selling her soul,
Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Paparazzi catch.
Lauryn was busy gaining all the spiritual aura as Miseducation stands as an immaculately crafted masterpiece, brought to life through the collaborative efforts of a diverse ensemble of musicians. Its lyrics remain unrivaled expressions of both heartache and rebirth, symbolizing liberation from the constraints of society and a steadfast reliance on a higher power. In addition, the complete album odyssey presented by Beyonce in Lemonade,
Are you cheating on me? Are you cheating on me?
in 2016, shares a comparable coherence with the unified vision of Miseducation. Beyonce, who included a cover of X Factor during her 2014 On the Run tour, has acknowledged the influence of Miseducation on her own artistic expression. Speculations resurfaced as Beyonce was known for engaging in endeavors that were profitable to her. Fans once more criticized Beyonce for what they perceived as appropriating a legendary song for her own fame. The sentiment grew that Beyonce chose to sing Lauryn's song in order to enhance her success and glamour. One of the internet users wrote, "The people who aren't getting it aren't close enough to God to understand the depth spiritual matters. Being lukewarm has been popularized, but the real ones know the real ones." Another said, "Why are y'all expecting holiness from Beyonce in the first place? You don't reach that level of fame without giving your allegiance to the other side. The industry is evil, and you only become as big as they allow you to. And they only allow it if they know you are all in with them. There is dark, dark magic involved with the music of the biggest artists. Getting upset over this one song is like reaching into a barrel of rotten apples and picking one to throw away." In 2002, Lauryn came back with a new live album called MTV Unplugged No. 2.0.
I used to get dressed for y'all now. I don't do that no more. I'm sorry. It's a new day.
This album was very different from her first one. It was not polished or fancy. It was simple and real. She sang with just her guitar and talked to the audience about her life and struggles. During one of her songs, "I Gotta Find Peace of Mind," she cried on stage. She talked about her mental health, how she was trying to grow as a person, and how hard it was to live under pressure. Many people were surprised to see this side of her. She was showing her pain and her truth, not hiding it like most stars do. Some people close to Lauryn have shared their worries about her mental health. Her former Fugees bandmates, Wyclef Jean and Pras Michel, have both said they believe she's struggling mentally. Pras said he thought Lauryn was one of the greatest artists of the last 30 years, but he also believed she might have a mental illness, possibly bipolar disorder. He said she might need medication and help from a doctor. Wyclef also agreed with this. He said Lauryn should see a psychiatrist and get help. He said she was so deep into her own world that only a miracle could bring her back. These comments came from people who used to be very close to her, which made their words feel even more serious. Another musician, Robert Glasper, also criticized Lauryn. He said that she claimed credit for music she didn't write and that she treated her band members unfairly. He said she didn't pay them well and fired them without warning. This made more people question how she worked with others and how she handled her career. These stories made Lauryn look like someone who was struggling not just with mental health, but also with how to manage her fame and team. Still, Lauryn used her fame to speak up about important issues. In 2003, she performed at the Vatican in front of church leaders. During her performance, she spoke out against child abuse in the Catholic Church. She said that God had seen the corruption and the bad actions of the church leaders. This was a bold move, especially in such a serious place. Lauryn was not afraid to tell the truth, even if it made people uncomfortable. She also wrote a song called Damnable Heresies for a documentary about women who said music mogul Russell Simmons had abused them. Lauryn stood up for these women and showed she cared about justice and truth. After her early success, Lauryn kept herself out of the public eye.
3 weeks since you were looking for your friend. Why you let him never called you again? Remember when he told you he was about to bitch you?
She did not do many interviews or appear often in the media. She said the music industry was too controlling, and she wanted to be true to herself. Her second album was very raw and emotional, and it showed the real Lauryn. Some people liked it, but others didn't understand it. It was not like her first album, and some fans were disappointed. But Lauryn said her peace and well-being were more important than fame. People also started talking about her being late to her concerts. Some fans were upset when she showed up hours late to perform. Lauryn explained that her art takes time and that she doesn't rush her process just to please others. She said she asks people to be patient and understand that she's human and going through her own journey. In recent years, things have not gotten easier. In 2024, Pras Michel, her old bandmate from the Fugees, sued her. He said she mismanaged money and made bad decisions about their reunion tour. He claimed she was responsible for the tour being canceled. Lauryn said the claims were false. She said she actually helped Pras with money and that the lawsuit was unfair. This fight in court showed that even after many years, Lauryn's past relationships in the music world were still difficult.